Beginners, let's practice G, C, and D, changing chords between those three. Coming up. Hey, Paul Zagorski here, PZ Guitar, your virtual practice partner. This is where we practice. Today, we're going to get back to fundamentals. We're going to get back to strumming, and we're going to get back to changing chords and getting that down seamlessly. And so we're going to start off today, we're going to do the G chord, the C chord, and the D chord. Okay, those chord shapes are going to be right over here somewhere, probably. I think they're still there. Are they still there? Yeah, they are. Okay, we're going to use those three chords, and we're going to do G to C first, and then we'll practice G to D, and then we'll do C to D. Then we'll do some tips, a recap, and a Chuck Norris chord of the day. So let's get ready. Let's practice. Hey everyone, let's get ready for lab number one. Normally when you do 1 minute changes or a variation of that, it's just single down strums. It's chord, change, 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 and it becomes mind-numbingly dull and awful and drab. So instead, we're going to do this a little bit. We're going to spice it up just a little bit. We're going to do a simple little strumming pattern. So using the G chord, it's going to be down, down, up, change, change. Got it? You got it. So let's get ready to practice. Lab number one. G, C, few more. G, C, and then G. Excellent. Give your fingers a little bit of a break, and we'll get ready for G to D. So coming up. Okay, let's get ready for G to D. Same strumming pattern. Down, down, up, change, down, down, up, change again. Now for this particular pattern, I'm going to use a slightly different chord shape for the G chord. I'm going to use the rock and roll or the 4-finger G chord, this one. So it's going to be 3, 2, open, open, 3, 3. Where that's the middle index and the last two fingers are the ring and the pinky. The reason why I want to do that is because my ring finger is an anchor finger between the G chord and the D chord. So it becomes a very efficient thing to leave that guy down and play a typical D chord, which is open, 2, 3, 2. And And then when I want to go back to the G chord, I put my pinky down and I move these two guys, the index and the ring, in unison over to where it was before. This transition should be easier than if you use the chord shape that we used before with the C chord to the D. That's a wholesale change. But you should practice it anyway, but for right now, I'm using the 4-finger G chord. So here we go. You ready? Same strumming pattern. Here we go. Here we go. Few more. D, G, D, G, last D, end on G. Let that ring out. Fantastic. Give your fingers a little bit of a break, because especially your ring fingers have been static on that one, so it might be hurting a little bit. So if you find these lessons to be useful and worthwhile, you know what? Hit the like button or subscribe. You know, that's always a good thing too. And so let's get ready for lab number 3. That's going to be C to D. So coming up. Okay, it's time to do C to D. Same strumming pattern. There's no real shortcut here. So you're going to have to do a typical open chord C and do to the D chord. So it's going to be, you're going to have to get, everyone's going to have to get off the pool here. So you ready? So here we go. Let's do C chord, D chord. A few more. Last D. End on C. Excellent. Give your fingers a well-deserved break, and I'll see you in the recap. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking around. You know, you've made it through 3 labs of 1 minute changes, so to speak. But it's a vital thing. If there's a particular combination that you find difficult, run the tape back to the beginning, because I index all of these labs. Run it back to the beginning and do it again. Do it again. Do it again. And you know, I'm doing this nice and slow. That should give you plenty of time for you to build up your muscle memory and the feel of where these chords lie on the fretboard, so that way you can get there on time. The other thing is, keep your hand moving. This is your metronome. As a matter of fact, we really should be playing this with a metronome. I haven't figured out how to play with the metronome and have you hear the metronome at the same time. I have to get a different device in order to do that. So, but I will work on that, and I will bring that, and I'll start doing lessons with the metronome. Again, keep your hand moving. Keep your hand moving, and don't be afraid to use alternate chord shapes. You know, when it comes to the G chord, you know, you could use a G6. You know, just take your index finger off and just do, you know, 3 and 2 on the 6th and 5th string, and the rest of them open. Nothing wrong with that. It's in the family. You don't have to have your finger down on the high E. Same thing with with the C chord. You can do this version of a C chord. You know. For the D chord, you know, typically it's this, but if you take your middle finger off and it's just open, 2, 3, open, it's a sus chord. Those perfectly fine as well. And also, don't forget that if you are a bar chord kind of guy or girl, G, C, you know, in one of my bar chord lessons, one of the more advanced bar chord lessons, I talk about the relationship between the 1, 4, 5 for bar chords. So the 1 chord, in this case, is living on the 3rd fret. The 4 chord, the C chord, also lives on the same fret, 3rd fret. And the 5 chord is on the 5th fret. Practice, do that one as well. So until then, you know what? Take this time now to like and subscribe to the channel. The subscribe is going to be up here somewhere. Well, you know where the buttons are. Hit the buttons. That's all. Right now it's time for the Chuck Norris quote of the day. I love these. You know what? I have in the video description links to Amazon for Chuck Norris gifts. They're not gifts for Chuck Norris. They're not from Chuck Norris. They're about Chuck Norris, and some of them are just laugh out loud funny. When Chuck Norris looks in the mirror shatters. Because not even the mirror is dumb enough to get in between Chuck Norris and Chuck Norris. Hey, thanks for sticking around. If this is your first time here, fantastic. If, you know, leave a comment as to what things you want to practice. You know, leave a comment as to what your favorite Chuck Norris quote is. I'd love to hear them. A lot of clever people out there. Love to be able to converse virtually with all these clever people that are out there. So until then, you know what? Keep practicing your 1 minute changes. Use that same pattern for any grouping of chords that you are having problems with. It doesn't have to be just 2 chords. You can string 3 of them together. It's an idea. So until then, you know what? Keep practicing, and I'll see you soon. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking around. Up over here is going to be a video that maybe you might want to check out next. Or down here is going to be a playlist that's going to have some really good stuff to practice. So until then, keep practicing. Either this one or this one. It's up to you.